Oh, okay, all right. So another really late recap. And this one, here we are. The show was Sunday night in Chicago, and now here we are Wednesday. I don't know if many people are still going to care at this point. They've already completed another show in Minneapolis last night. They got a show tonight in Milwaukee. So we've all moved back on with our lives, but I have still been thinking about this show. Really, even after listening to the Sunday Fish show and then doing the recap of it, I immediately kind of went back to thinking about this show. And then even after last night's show in Minneapolis, which I did watch here on YouTube, they're still streaming all their shows this tour for free on YouTube. And like many other people have said, I don't know if you follow what they're doing on a nightly basis. They pretty much everybody liked this show once again too. And I went to the previous show the Sunday before the previous Sunday, I should say. And yeah, just from beginning to end, it was just amazing, and it kept getting better and better and better. And it was my first time seeing them live. Things I've taken away both times were stuff that I like a lot of their stuff, but they got so much. I don't like all of it. But then the times in the shows where they go into some stuff that maybe I came into the shows not really being my favorite, that kind of ended up being near my favorite, like the from Newport, not to make this a Newport recap again, but from that show, I was just blown away by the Converge and Witchcraft, which are two songs I didn't really love. I think that album is probably outside one of my 10 favorite albums by the band. So, and then for this show, I was a little like, well, can they carry a third hour? Certainly there will be some downtime, because the last show, and that was the only difference between Newport Sunday and Chicago Sunday, is they busted out of the gate with the Nonagon stuff. Robot Stop, Big Fig Wasp, Gamma Knife, People Vultures, Mr. Beat. Some of my favorite stuff, really, live and the album, is some of the very first stuff that got me hooked on them. So to open up with that was just amazing. But then they followed it with the newer stuff: Sad Pilot, Rats in the Sky, Daily Blues, which I do like those songs. But maybe the new album is maybe the only thing in concert that doesn't kind of kick it up a level. Like the Petro stuff got even better. Murder of the Universe stuff got even better. But this stuff, however, just about the same, I suppose. I don't leave there being like, oh, I want to go listen to Rats in the Sky, or oh, I want to go listen to Sad Pilot or Antarctica or whatever. So maybe if they had flipped that, if they had opened with Sad Pilot and Rats, and then came with the Nonagon stuff, that was like maybe the only change I would have made. And then as far as like the kind of Gizzy stuff they were going to play, it was Crumbling Castle, The Fourth Color, Iron Lung. I got Iron Lung the previous Sunday, didn't care. Was really pumped for Crumbling Castle and The Fourth Color. It's the color. And then they got into the metal stuff: Hell, Predator X, Dragon, Flamethrower. Dragon and Flamethrower I assumed would be cool, but I didn't know how. If you would have told me I was getting a Predator 10, I don't know how I would have felt about that, really. But then that thing pretty much dominated. Now, I would have known I like Hell. Not one of my favorite albums, but I think it was like maybe going all the way back to like Red Rocks 22. Listening to that show, Hell is certainly a good one. And then maybe, All Is Known. I got another All Is Known for just kind of like a normal, not that special of a song. That one is probably my favorite in that category. Got it twice in a row now in two shows. Ambulance, I was so I don't know where I was during Straws in the Wind. I could, you could see the stage, but I didn't have a great view of the stage. Everything sounded amazing, but I was unaware that Ambrose even left the stage during Straws in the Wind. And I guess apparently I didn't even take a peek up at the screen. I will say sometimes, though, the webcast does the same thing. I guess maybe what we were seeing on that monitor is the same thing as the webcast. But every now and then, the director there is a little bit off on who the camera should be on, at least for me. And not often, and not for very long. But there are certainly moments when I just feel like they're showing the wrong person. Like, this isn't the star right now. Even at one point, as simple as Stu receiving a shirt and then showing the shirt. Couldn't really see that up on the screen. They were shooting, I don't know, of calves, or I don't know. That was a bad example, because that part doesn't really matter. But I think maybe Joey was ripping a solo one time, and they were showing Cookie. I don't know, man. It just a few times there. I don't mean to come in. Everything was amazing, but I gotta apparently, since I'm a guy on the internet, I gotta find a few things to complain about. And then we get to Welcome to the Altered Future. Digital Black, the confused cyborg, I would have been like, yeah, I don't want that. But then maybe this was probably the stuff where I left there being like, you know what, man? Actually, Digital Black and that whole third CD on Murder of the Universe is pretty brilliant, man. I did not want to come out of there being a Vomit Coffin fan. Turns out that stuff does, in fact, rule. They did not end there, though, because then we get into just a nasty Swan Song and set. I kind of figured with a 3-hour show we were going to certainly get some action on the table, and oh did we. Oh did we. The best part, too, was as they were slowly starting to leave the table, maybe I thought it was wrapping up, they were going to get into a song. I even saw Ambrose leaving his station. I was like, maybe we're a dripping tap or something? What are they doing here? But no, as the others went back to their instruments, Stu stays at the table, Ambrose comes to the table, and that might have been maybe my absolute favorite. It's tough to tell. There were so many moments during that thing. It went on, 20 plus minutes total from Swan Song and set. And then they weren't done. It was like the show's over. We played our 3 hours. It felt like, I don't know what was going on stage. But they just felt like, we don't really want to leave, but I guess it's over, huh? It probably flew by for them, too, other than Joey, who had to piss. Hashtag piss. Head on pill. And it was just completely ripping through that one. I think it was like a hot water tease. Maybe quoted something else from another song. So it was probably, I already liked that song. Thought it was cool. I had viewed live versions on YouTube. But being there and just getting hit over the head with it, it's unbelievable. Just kind of like, I don't know. So for 3 hours, only thing I will say is, unlike Kentucky where it started out pretty good and then it got really cool and then it was like, this is amazing. And then it was like my mind was blown. That start was like, oh shit, we are here off to the races. Then we did take a little step back. And then we kind of got going again. So that was maybe the only thing that I preferred. Why? And maybe because it was my very first time. And even your second show is not going to be as your first. You only get your first one time. And, but I just felt like it kept building and building and building till the whole place just exploded in Newport. I mean, Nonagon when it's still daytime outside, yeah. Don't get me wrong, probably the best way to open a show. I mean, come on. But there's still daylight. I don't know. Maybe could have flipped that. Again, I don't know why I'm complaining. It was awesome. By the end, my feet were killing me. Lots of walking, lots of standing. Maybe 5-6 plus hours of walking and standing. Not a young man anymore. Boom. Cross-country days, long gone. We're out of here. Oh, and then the 2 nights later, I got a calf cramp. Or maybe it was a night later. I don't know. It was horrible. I thought somebody shoved a baseball in my leg. I'm out of here. Go see King Gizzard if you can. I mean, if nothing else, check out the webcast. I don't know. They're a lot of fun. Sometimes when you're watching on the webcast, it looks like too much fun. If you're like intimidated, like my friend and his wife are going tonight. She's a little bit intimidated. She should not be. Everything, you'll be safe. All right. Love you guys. Boom. We're out of here. Go Gizzard. Go Trey. Trey loves Gizzard.